terrific, clever fighter to get a living in the booth, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was like 50p or something. It was like a pound, something.
But listen, that might have been a day's money or half a day's money. If you do 5 rounds a night, it was probably good money.
I mean, going back then, I mean, you could buy. I don't know. I wasn't that old. It's 100 years ago. Well, let's say 80 years ago at least. I mean, probably a pound would have bought you. I don't know. A ton of shopping. Yeah, horse and cart probably.
That Bill, obviously, that was a long time ago, but a part of Traveller and Gypsy culture is that oral tradition, people talking. Are there still people that you know that still talk about stuff that happened, you know, to some of those great bare-knuckle fighters from 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the old generation, they all still get talked about now. I mean, the old generation was the best in my eyes. I mean, there's not really a lot...
Because they were so tough.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was more... They had more respect back then, I suppose, and they respected people more highly than what they do now. I mean, in this sort of,
Some of those guys then didn't turn pro because it wasn't part of that culture, but it is now. Would they be turning pro now if they were around now, those guys?
They probably would, but, you know, a lot of the travelling boys now, they're getting the age of 17, 18 driving, and they got, like, you know, getting married so early, you know what I mean? You've seen it on gypsy weddings and all that, you know. They're all getting married and living off and, you know...
And getting big skirts and stuff. That's most of the women, most of it. Billy, it's round 3. You're doing very well. I'm not going to kick you out, and I knew I wouldn't have to kick you out. I want to talk a little bit about that period, 17, 18, 19, when you become the best under-19 fighter in the world. That's official. That's not me inventing it. What was it like in the build-up, the World Championships Chicago, going off to the Olympics?
You know, the World Championships in Chicago, I just missed Neil Perkins when as the you know, as the number 169, and you know, I knew I had a little bit to work on. And to be honest with you, you know, all your teammates want to do well, but at my weight, he was at my weight. I didn't want him to qualify. Of course, you know, it's not being nasty or anything. It was Olympics. Everybody wanted to go,
and he'd already got a medal in the world in China.
And, you know, you know, he was a good fighter. I knew he had a good chance, but you know, he got beat by I'm not sure if it was the I can't remember now if it was the Belarusian or something. And you know,
so the window opened for you.
Terry Edwards gave me my chance. I went to Stranger tournament, beat the Cuban and Kazakh and that, and he said, right, I'll give you the next qualifier, and that was in Pescara, Italy. And you know, I knew I couldn't afford not to qualify, because I know Neil's like a good boxer. If he'd got the third one, perhaps he would have qualified. So, you know, I had to take me chance.
And how old were you then when you went out to Pescara for that final qualifier? Sorry, that second qualifier. How old? 18.
18, yeah.
And at that point, Billy, how many amateurs internationals had you had? Senior ones, not junior ones. Senior internationals.
I think senior internationals I had about 17.
Wow.
16, 17.
So that's nothing. I mean, even Amir Khan going into the Olympics 4 years earlier, he'd had about 45.
Yeah. I mean, so, you know, I was fairly new to the to the setup, and I think I was on it about 6 months. Then, I mean, on the podium, then qualified for Olympics.
So then you get out to Beijing. The bell's going to go any second. Now, just tell me briefly, give me your favourite Beijing Olympic memory.
You know, I was away for a lot of the time, and you know, just the experience of being around all the good athletes and all around my teammates really was the good. You know, we shared it all together.
I tell you what, that was the most perfect time to come up the round four, Bill. Tell me a bit. So you come back from there, you turn pro, you meet up with Mark and Jimmy Tibbs, you walk in to Johnny Eames's gym. It's a different world. What was it like adjusting?
You know, I didn't. First of all, went pro with my amateur coach, Danny Hoy, and you know, he was a very, very good amateur coach, but it didn't quite work out for us on the pro line. Then I met up with Jimmy. You know, thanks to Dean Powell, put me in touch with Jimmy and Mark, and you know, they've just took me on leaps and bounds. What they learn you in the gym, you couldn't buy with Simon Cowell's money.
Was it? There's an awful lot of that. As one dude's got to pay for a lot of women, hasn't he? As well. Yeah, we digress. Let's get back. Billy, don't get me wandering, because you know that's my downfall. Once I wander,
ladies are all downfalls.
Yeah, no, not those kind of wanderings. I'm talking about wandering, talking about other things. So you've got me doing it, Billy.
Your wife's not listening.
Exactly. You've confused me now, Bill. Bill, let me ask you this: the adjustment you had to make as a pro. I've got to be honest with you. You seem to have made it seamlessly.
Well, that's a lot of, you know, I got to owe a lot of that to Jimmy and Mark really. Always had sort of a little pro style, but they just matured me into now, you know, a proper professional now sort of thing.
Do you feel that you're getting that strength now? Because we've talked about this over the last 4 or 5 years, you know, before Beijing, going to Beijing and turning pro. Yeah. That strength's coming. I mean,
I'm 24 now, so I think it's starting to come more than a lot now. But I mean, my last fight, people were saying, oh yeah, he wasn't punching us up, but that's because we went for, you know, a game plan. A game plan was speed, don't worry about the power. We knew he was strong, just get the speed in and out, and, you know, I'd done that for full 12 rounds, which is something I haven't done before, look that lively.
We're going to talk about the 12 rounds a little bit later on. This is a very strict thing, this 12 rounds with Bill. You don't digress. If I ask you a question, you answer. That's okay. I know it's one of your favourite things to try and take me off.
Sorry, yeah.
It's okay, I forgive you.
I was testing you, to be fair.
No, I know exactly what you're doing. You've done it before. You've come in before and you've asked me questions about clothing and tracksuits and stuff. You've confused me sometimes, Bill.
I know.
Well, I'll let you go this time. Right, next round, Bill. Talk about that pro debut, the first night. Even though you had all the amateur fights, you've been to Olympics, you've been to major tournaments, it's a different thing. Suddenly you haven't got a head guard on, suddenly you haven't got a vest on, and it's a different sort of feeling. What was it like that day and night?
Well, I normally fighting up and down home when I was a little boy with no vest and shirts, no gloves on. I was used to it. So yeah, wasn't it? It was good. I mean, it was very good. I mean, walking into that ring for the first time, big crowd there, and, you know, it was a different atmosphere.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
You know, but I couldn't complain, and, you know, I loved every minute. That's been the highlight of my career as well. Like, one of the highlights, anyway. That's winning the British was the.
And what, you know, as you walk into the ring and you get in the ring, and it's a different sort, as you say, different crowd, different noise. Once that fight's there, Bill, are you looking at it? Are you thinking, yeah? It's a bit of me, this.
Well,
it's a bit of me, this.
You know, all the nerves is there. It's all there, and, you know, once your music comes on and everybody's there and you can see everybody cheering for you and that, you know, as soon as you get in that ropes and that bell rings, that's it. It's just action, and that's what I like. I mean, it's nice to build up to it, but once that bell rings, that's the most bit I get excited about.
Now, adrenaline-wise, post-fight, Bill, was that the biggest rush you'd ever had up until that point?
What, I mean,
when you finished that debut?
By far, yeah. I mean, it was because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know, everything was new, it was exciting. Then, you know, it just all come natural to me then.
Yeah.
And then I knew that this game was for me.
And as you're walking back to the change room, is it that sort of thing? I don't want to leave. I want to stay. I want to suck this in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get everybody on. I mean, the three of us was there, and I was all trying to pick out who the best was, and who's going to go the furthest, and who's going to win the first title. It was all exciting, like build up.
Gavin,
But now we're all moved on, and we're all going our own separate ways, sort of thing, and we're all doing our own thing, which is good and nice.
As you say, you're all doing. Okay, let's move on now, Bill. We're in round 5. It's Southern Area title. It's your call, if I'm not mistaken. No, Wembley. And it's Gary Bolden. And suddenly it's 10 rounds. 10 rounds, you've got to think a little bit.
Yeah, I mean...
it's a move up.
I mean, there was a few... My first 10 rounder, I mean, I was thinking I had to train like a madman, but Jimmy had to keep, reminding me. Yeah. And, you know, it was a good 10 rounds for me, but not one of the best performances I've had, to be fair. You know, there's a few little things, if I could change it, I would have done differently, you know, tactics-wise. But they're learning fights, you know. I mean, there was never going to be, I was never going to be beaten in them, but they were just like learning fights. You had to go through them to get ready from like where I'm at now.
It's priceless to get 10 rounds at an early stage, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, it's good to bowl people over. It's you know, it's early night. Yeah, I mean, it's like you see, but... When you're in them trenches, the fans ain't in the ring with you, it's on your own, and, you know, you got to have them learning fights for later on for when you're there, if you know what I mean. It does you all good stead. Yeah,
because what you're doing is you're building up a tank, and I don't care if you train for 12 rounds, if you keep bowling over people in 2 rounds, you're not getting the benefits of the 12 rounds.
No, 100%, and I feel now that I'm maturing into a fully fledged 12-round fighter.
Yeah, and that starts with something like that 10 round against Bolden.
Yeah, and to be honest, that started from you know, my first 6-rounder.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew if I wanted to make it, I mean, I had to do them other 6 rounds better than the first 6 rounds, and I think that's what I'm working on now, and I think that's where I'm heading to now, is like to get these 12 rounds out comfortably, like with ease, sort of thing.
Yeah, so now you've got this solid tank. We're going to talk about the 12 rounds a bit later on, and I must admit you've worked perfectly up to that 12 rounds, so that you're now a solid, proper pace 12 round fighter. Yeah,
I mean, it's something I work on in the gym all the time with Jimmy and that, and it's not blowing yourself out is the main thing. If you go out there and gash yourself out in round 2 or 3 or 4, even 6, you still got 6 rounds, a long time to be in the ring.
It is a long time to go if you're knackered, cream crackered. British title fight, Billy. We're now in round 6. It was last December. Nick Blackwell. He's tough. He's the kind of guy you look at him, you're going to get 6 rounds if it's 6, 8, 10, or 12. Now it was a hard fight. It was a hard night. It was a proper fight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. To be fair, I've said it a few times now. I think with Nick Blackwell fight, I didn't underestimate him as a fighter because I've got respect for all fighters, but I underestimated his ability and his fitness sort of thing. And he done very well that night. I'm gonna take my hats off to him. And maybe in a few fights' time, I think he's fighting for the European. Maybe we could do it again. I chat to him and that now. We stayed friends after. We sparred after and everything.
Oh, didn't realise. What, he came and helped him for?
Yeah, he's come down. Yeah, he come down and we've done a bit of sparring and that. So it's good. And I made friends with it. So I had a fight with someone, made friends with him.
Because what it is with him, because he done all those unlicensed fights, and we knew he was strong, we knew he was tough, and I think no one gave him enough credit for his actual skills. We just thought maybe just strong.
From the Martin Murray fight, I can say he's come on leaps and bounds, and there's fair play to him and his team. They've done a real good job of him, and I think that he's going to go for a lot further now.
I spoke to Ian Knapp, who won a British bantamweight title a few years ago the other day, and he was telling me that when he won his title up in Wigan, he slept with the belt the first night. Billy, was it on the pillow next to you?
Yeah, it was, to be honest. It was on the side of the bed. I mean, it's never too far away. It's always there. I can just grab it and have a look at it, and it's just good to look at, isn't it? Really, it's just one of them belts. And
do you wear it?
Well, yeah, I'll put it on sometimes. Look at the pictures on the old Twitters and that. You got to do it, innit? If you got one, you have to do it.
Napper's excuse was the case was so bad that when he was in Hackney, people thought he was walking around with loads of money, who had a laptop, and he was worried about being mugged. So it was easy just to wear it rather than have it in a carry case.
Same as me. Where I live on the site, if you see that, you get your head beaten with hammer. And
so you're better off out your. So you're better off.
I've got to carry a gun. I've got to carry a gun around me at my place. So don't come to my place. You get shot.
Listen, let me just explain. Billy Joe is joking about carrying a gun and getting hit on the head with a hammer. Okay, let me just point out in case someone's lost their sense of humour. Now, after the British title fight, suddenly, as you say, there was all a bit of rivalry. You, Gavin, and the Gavin. Nice rivalry in the sense you don't want to try and see who's going to do it better. But suddenly, you seem to have really bubbled through. Suddenly, you're the British champion. You're unbeaten. You're maturing. You're coming nicely. Do you stay in touch with the two of them? This is last December.
Yeah, I do. Well, not so much Chunky. I hear bits of him now and then.
He's in the wind, isn't he, Chunky? I mean that nicely.
Yeah. He's doing his thing and that. Yeah, but Frankie and that, I speak to him, and he's a good fighter, Frankie. He's a good technical fight thinker, and so is James DeGale. But where we are at the minute, all in our careers, is where we are, sort of thing. We're all on the same sort of level. I mean, he's looking for a world title shot, DeGale, and I know that Gavin soon will get a world title shot. So we're all at that same level at the minute, but it's just who can take that leap the furthest, sort of thing, and succeed at it. I mean, it's all right fighting for a world title, but you've got to win it, or you want to win it anyway.
Now, was there a considerable amount of rivalry when you turned pro, and was it all playful and harmless, or was it a little bit more, not sinister, but a little bit more serious?
No, I think that everyone wanted to, when we was all on the same bill, we all wanted to outshine one another. So if I went out and stopped someone, Frankie think, right, well, I've got to go and stop somebody now, I've got to stop my man, and then DeGale would try to stop he. So it was all like, we kept each other going in a way, which is good really, and I think even in the amateur days, we always bring the best out in ourselves, like helping one another out, and I think that's the way we help one another out, is put pressure on ourselves, sort of thing. And
but there have been one or two down moments. One particular down moment when your hand was bad and it seemed that you were not going anywhere too fast. That was quite a low point.
Yeah, it was really, to be honest. I mean, I blowed up to about 14 stone, and do you know what I was thinking to myself? I was ready, really. I was just on the verge just to think, well, this is it now. I mean, I've done what I've done. Am I going to get back down to the weight I want to be? And it's all everything going from my head, really. Going to the pub with the boys and silliness.
So at that point, when you sort of came out of that funk, that little bit of feeling sorry for yourself as well, that's not, that's part of that, isn't it? You sort of cracked on there. One thing I like about you, Bill, I mean, apart from the fact you've got a good sense of humour and you're a good fighter, is that you seem to fight like there's no pressure on you. Is there pressure and you're just good at hiding it?
No, listen, I'll go in there. I know when I'm in that ring with Jimmy and that, I know that I've done everything I can. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I've done absolutely everything. So when I go in there, I know my abilities.
Have you ever cut corners?
No, I have. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I have, to be fair.
Knowing you're going to win.
I've been to fights thinking I've just got to turn up and win, but now it's this stage of my career now where I've had them learning fights, and I know that if I want to make it at the top, I can't cut corners. I can't go and have a McDonald's and have this. It's got to be strict and done properly, and I'm with the right team, and that's what I've been doing lately, and I think it's showing in performances. Yeah,
it has been showing in your performances. When you talk about that, knowing that you're going to win, that is quite hard though for a young pro, isn't it? Because you know you're going to beat the guy, so there is a temptation, not necessarily to cut corners, but to maybe not put as much in. Is that fair comment, Bill?
No, I mean, the only time when I'm jogging, I think about it and I think, what'll happen if I did lose? And that's enough losing for me straight away. If I jog for about 5 seconds, it'd go, what happened if I did lose? Then all of a sudden, that's enough losing for me because I think about all the downs and that, so I know that I will not be beat. The O is important to me. I want to keep that.
Of course.
And I think that I will keep it.
But it's the performance which is more important.
And I think the more pressure I've got and the better person I fight, it brings stuff I don't even know I got myself out. And I think it showed me last fight, and it's definitely going to show me next one. Yeah,
no, we'll talk about that fight. We'll also talk about the 12 rounds going in. But you're absolutely right what you're saying there, Bill. So just to paraphrase that, there is a bit of pressure there, but you put it on yourself. It's not that you get nervous. You just put the pressure on yourself. It
just comes with the game, the pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's all about you want to be the best. You know, you got to beat the best.
You've got to be the best. You've got to beat the best. Round 9, Billy. Now there were some early stoppages in your career, but 4 of the last 5 fights have gone 12 rounds. Now I understand what you're saying. Against last time out against Spike, you were moving around, but there are some people who might look at it and say, "Well, where's his punching power gone?" Yeah, yeah. Is it not a case of that? It's just
no,
12 rounds.
I mean, Jimmy Tibbs set a game plan out. And, you know, I was ordered to stick to it, and that's what I am. Yeah. If you're a professional, you stick to... It's pointless having coaches if you're not going to listen to them. And, you know, he set me a game plan out. We knew he was going to come and be strong, and he was. If I'd have let him be strong, but...
Has he pulled you back in fights? Let's say in the 5th or 6th rounds of one of those last 12 rounders, you might have maybe sort of sensed something. Have you sort of said to him, Jim, I can go, and he said, Billy, let's stick with what we're doing.
Patience. You've got to do it. I mean, it's better to get it done over a long period of time and rushing it and getting caught with a silly shot. You know, it's if you want to do something a good job, you've got to take your time, and you know, it's a patient game, isn't it? And
you've got time, age-wise, everywhere.
I've got time everywhere. In that ring, 12 rounds is a lot of time. You know, to do what you want. You could be 3 rounds down, 5 rounds down, and still come back and win a fight. Yeah. So that's the beauty about professional boxing.
Now, Bill, we talked a few moments ago in about round 6 or 7 about you blowing up to 14 stone. What have you been doing the last 18 months in between fights? What's the most you've been going up to?
The most I've probably been going up to is about 12-9, 12-10. So, you know...
more than manageable.
12, easy. You know, well, not easy, but, you know, 12-9, 12-10.
So you're comfortable at that weight?
Yeah, I mean, I've got something set out now that... I've been sparring, to be honest, with a heavy fella.
We've been sparring with a heavy fella.
So I've had to keep a little bit of meat on me because when someone's getting down to weight and they're still growing in weight...
Bill, let me just explain the way. Thank you, Bill. You don't have 2 balls. You'll end up losing a point for that. Let's move on. Let's go.
It's harder than what it looks. It looks easy, but this is hard.
No, it's hard. But you should imagine how hard it is for me. I'm exhausted. Put a feet up, have a cup of tea. Billy, listen, let's move on now. September 21st, John Ryder. He's unbeaten. He's a good fighter. You're in the other corner. You're unbeaten. You're a good fighter. It's a monster fight. It's a big fight. Talk to me about John Ryder.
I've seen little bits of him. I'll just let Mark and Jimmy study him. I've been working on what I've been working on, and you know, I think it's going to be a good fight. I can make it as easy as I want to make it. If I want to make it a slugfest, I can make it hard for myself. But if I want to go in there and make it easy night's work, you know, I can do what I want to do, and I know that I'm fit enough and strong enough to do comfortably. My game plan will come with ease on the night.
Was he a fighter that's been on your radar for a year, 7, 8, 9 months?
No, I think that I've been on his radar, people's I mean, the champions people's always trying to knock you down, you know, so, you know, his time has come, and, you know, I'm sure he's going to try and take it with both hands, and he's a good fighter. Yeah. So, you know, it's going to be a good fight.
Now, Bill, you're not a guy that gets into sort of silly and bogus and phony wars. When you came face to face with him at the press conference, you shake his hand, anything in it? You literally shake his hand, generally?
Yeah,
how was it with you?
Look, we all obviously we're not going to have cups of tea together before we fight, but I think, you know, it's a professional game, and the night I would turn nasty and spiteful is when I'm in that ring. When that bell goes at the finish, we're friends again, sort of thing, you know.
Have you ever had a fight in a build-up where you've hated the person, really disliked the person, and really wanted to fight the person?
No, but there is probably one person that I would like to do.
Yeah, because Eubank Jr. I'm thinking.
Yeah, he was one person I would really want to. Probably one of them I'd probably, you know, bite his ear off.
We're doing listen, I can tell you, I know people desperately want to see you fight him as well.
Do you know what? He don't even deserve a shot, to be honest, but I'll give him a shot. I'll John Ryder if he wants. Mick Hennessy's, I'll go to Channel 5, whatever Frank wants me to do, I'll go wherever he wants to make that fight.
Chris Eubank, that's it. You've got that coming, as they said. It's round 11. We're getting close to it, Bill. Now, I know one thing that means an awful lot to you, apart from your horse, which I know you love,
yeah.
and that would be becoming the first Traveller Gypsy boy, and I'm using the right term, to become a British champion and win a Lonsdale belt outright. Look at your eyes, you've even lit up. It means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, you've got Tyson Fury doing well now.
Yep.
I mean, he's had the belt, he didn't win it outright, but, you know, he's fighting David A. And you got me, so, you know, it's just something like to show young people you can do it if you put your mind to it, sort of thing. It's hard work, but everything is now in life. It's life, hard work, isn't it?
Inside that Traveller community, to Bill, do you still get challenges? Because you used to get them. I know Tyson Fury still gets them. Do you still get ridiculous challenges?
What, for me?
For people to fight, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'll probably have people like get a bit sly, but sometimes you just got to walk away. But sometimes you can't, can you? Yeah. Someone challenged me for a fight. I'm not the sort of person to say no. If they want to fight me, I'll have a fight. Simple as that. But they've got to be half stupid to want to fight me, because I'll probably sit him in the head with something now, Stephen. Because my hand is too valuable.
Too valuable, yeah. Let me just put some gloves on.
Yeah.
No, inside the Traveller community, there's always been Traveller fighters. You know, they're both amateur level, some going pro, and also guys that have got great reputations. You know, street fighters. But when you travel around different things, horse fairs and stuff, do you get a lot of attention, Bill? A lot of love.
Yeah, you do. You know, there's some nice people out there. You know, but it's good and bad in everybody. I mean, you get some good travellers, some bad travellers, but you know, I like to think that, you know, I'm doing a good thing, trying to put people on the map, you know, and trying to say, look, well, everyone ain't bad people. There is some nice travellers about, and hopefully I'm one of them. So hopefully that's the message I'm trying to put across anyway.
Well, you've done that. I think you've changed the way a lot of people, certainly in the boxing business, look at travellers.
Yeah, I mean, travellers don't run. You can get some what might get on people's nerves pulling in their old back garden. It's not nice putting a big caravan on someone's driveway. It's not good, is it, Steve? In your street, like. You know, I could send them to your house, like about 30 of them up your street.
The problem is, if you send them to my house, I know so many Traveller fighters. Invariably, someone who comes to my house, I'll know someone he knows. Yeah, I'll know one of his relations.
Be friends of yours.
I'll be friends with them. It's the last round, Bill. We're getting to the 12th round. Let's talk about the future, Bill, both in and out the ring. I know we don't like to talk about fights fights that we haven't won yet and looking forward. Tell me about the future, both in the ring and outside the ring. You've got 2 minutes. Tell me, Bill.
I can tell you one thing, that 100%. And I'll bet my life on it, and you can bet your house, whatever, I would not be getting beat my next fight. I'm going to come away with a win, and a comfortable win. He's a good fighter, I'm not taking nothing away from John Ryder, but it's my confidence. I'm not being arrogant or cocky, it's just my confidence, and I know what I can do, I know his ability, and I know mine. From that, I want to move on to, you know, maybe European, and that. I think Nick Blackwell's might be fighting for the European, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the case.
So, you know, he's got that, that's another light at the tunnel for him.
Winning it,
and... You know, I'm just taking things like I want to win me title outright. I've always said it. I'll get me British title outright, win that. That's the side.
Then move on.
I'll concentrate. Hopefully, then Frank Warren can get me on. I'm right at number 6 in the WBO now. So, you know, it's just all coming together nicely, and I'm only 24, so hopefully the time I'm 26 I can be up there with the best.
And you've got that sense, Bill, of being 24, you know, you've still got 5, 6, 7 good years there, if you wanted them, haven't you? They're in the bank. Yeah. Because you're not a tired 24, right?
No, listen, I'm nice and fresh. It's not like I'm in the gym getting punched about every day and can't string a word together. I might look it, but I'm not. You know, and you got Darren Barker's, Matthew Macklin's, Murray's. They're all 30-year-old, you know, 31. So I'm 24, and people's talking about me fighting them already, like a couple of them. So, you know, I've got all the time in the world in my hands.
Yeah, you have got all the time.
And I've got to use it. You know, there's one thing you can't beat, and that's time.
Yeah, and you've got it on you. And listen, Bill, it's been an absolute delight. You've answered that perfectly. Thanks for answering the 12 questions. You only went over twice. You got 2 penalty points. Yeah. But you did very well all the way through.
To be fair, I thought it was going to be a bit easy.
No, it wasn't. It was hard.
It's not easy.
I'll let you in the secret, Bill. We lied to you. When we said come in and do a nice, gentle interview, we lied. I'm telling you now.
It just keeps your brain thinking, to be honest. It's training. I'm taking that as training.
You know what? You won't sleep for a while, but it's been a delight and a pleasure talking to him. That's our new feature that we do here on Box Nation. It's called 12 Rounds With. And tonight,